Dave is back at it here to give everyone a Breaking Bad reaction video. A little bit of insight. I started watching Breaking Bad for the first time in 2013. It was before the second half of season 5 began, the final season, because a chick that I knew, a pretty hot chick might I add, named Becca, would always talk about it in our conversations, and I had never seen it, so I decided to start watching it to have a little bit more input in the conversations that we would have. And I've probably watched Breaking Bad all the way through at least 8 times. And I know that seems like a lot, and it's not even my favorite TV show of all time, but it's really one of the most rewatchable shows in my opinion that I've watched a lot of times. I've watched Dexter a lot too. Those 2 shows I've watched a lot. Of course, I like My Walking Dead, but I don't know if I've watched that all the way through 8 times. Maybe 4 times, 5 times, but not 8. So I'm going to do reaction videos to every episode, and I'm rewatching the episodes and then doing my reactions. So it's not like I'm just going from memory of what happened in the episode. And I've also, on my channel, already talked about my favorite characters, my favorite episodes, and did a reaction video to El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. So there's that, and I'll probably redo all those videos just to kind of group everything together. Before I talk about the first episode of Breaking Bad, if you're not caught up to the point where I am, where I'm rewatching the first episode of Breaking Bad, I highly suggest that you don't watch this video if you don't want anything spoiled. Although there's not a lot of spoilers, it's pretty self-explanatory what happens. So let's get started. Breaking Bad, Season 1, Episode 1. They don't have a title of the episode, they just call it Pilot. This will be my reaction review recap of the episode. Walter White is a high school chemistry teacher, an overqualified high school chemistry teacher in Albuquerque, New Mexico, living with his pregnant wife, Skyler, and their teenage son, Walter Jr., who sometimes goes by Flint. Not in this episode, but later on. And Walter Jr. has cerebral palsy. Now, working part-time at a car wash, Walt ends up getting humiliated by 2 of his students because he's out there scrubbing tires and not just checking people out at the register. Then he goes home, he's already irritated, and he opens the door and everybody's like, surprise, because it's Walt's 50th birthday. So he's not expecting that, he's a little pissed off, and then that happens. So that puts him kind of in a bad mood. He goes back to work at the car wash, and all of a sudden Walt actually collapses and is raced to the hospital, where he is told he has developed inoperable lung cancer and has at best approximately 2 years to live. Now Walt opts to keep this news from his family and from Skylar's sister Marie and her husband Hank, who just happens to be a DEA agent. Walt returns from work and starts lashing out at his boss, Bogdan, who doesn't really treat Walt with a lot of respect. Now, having seen a report showing large amounts of money recovered from one of Hank's drug busts on the news, Walt takes a previous offer Hank had made during his 50th birthday surprise party to go on a ride-along as Hank and his partner raid a meth lab. As DEA agents clear out the house, Walt actually sees a former student of his, Jesse Pinkman, sneaking out a window after he presumably got it on with a chick as she's naked at the window. Who Walt actually later tracks down Jesse Pinkman and actually blackmails him into helping him produce crystal meth. After having Jesse purchase an RV to use as a mobile lab, Walt steals chemistry supplies from the high school that he works at, thinking they wouldn't suspect anything at the moment. And then the pair, Walt and Jesse, drive the RV into the desert and begin to cook. Now, due to Walt's experience in chemistry, Jesse claims their crystal meth is the purest he's ever seen. Jesse actually drives back to show the product to his distributor, who is Crazy 8, but encounters Crazy 8's cousin, Emilio, who was arrested during that ride-along Walt had seen, who believes Jesse actually set him up during the drug bust. And to prove his loyalty, Jesse drives Crazy 8 and Emilio to the RV where they're cooking to meet Walt. Emilio recognizes Walt from the raid, leading him and Crazy 8 to hold the two at gunpoint and causing Jesse to accidentally knock himself out. To save his life and Jesse's, Walt offers to show them how he makes meth. Now, during the cook, Emilio flicks away a cigarette that causes a brush fire, and Walt synthesizes phosphine gas with red phosphorus, causing Emilio and Crazy 8 to faint. And so he's done that, and then Walt, what he wants to do is get the RV away from that particular area, and then he drives that for a while, and then he starts to hear sirens. So Walt had put gas masks on him and Jesse, and then eventually what happens is he actually drives the RV into a ditch, and then he stumbles out and starts recording a video message to his family saying, "This is not an admission of guilt, this is me talking to my family." And after he does that, he actually unsuccessfully tries to shoot himself, pointing the gun towards the sound. He realizes that the sirens are from fire trucks responding to the brush fire that happened. So Walt and Jesse drive back, leaving the RV with Emilio and Crazy 8 still passed out in there. And I thought they were dead, actually, when I first watched this show at Jesse's house. And then Walt returns home, puts the money that they had offered to give them for the product in the dryer and lets it, look older. And then meeting with his wife Skylar in bed, Walt, she's asking him a lot of questions, and then Walt starts kissing her, and eventually he essentially just has a new sexual appetite and starts to get it on with Skylar, and that's how they end the pilot episode of Breaking Bad. So, pretty good. There were a couple slow moments, and I must admit I kind of dozed off at the part where, before Walt goes to school to take them the supplies for the cook. But I mean, I've seen the episode a lot of times, and I went back quite a bit to rewatch most of it, but I probably missed 5 to 7 minutes of the episode. So, as far as the score of this pilot episode, I'm going to give it an 8.7. I think more people would probably give it a more higher score, and I like the fact that they just didn't end with the episode of Walt's Breaking Bad. They showed him do things and do these things already in the pilot episode, and there were a couple moments where Walt would start snapping, like the part where Walt quits on Bogdan, and then the part where Walter, Skylar, and Walter Jr. at the clothing store, and Walter Jr. is trying on pairs of pants, and there's kids laughing at Walter Jr. from a distance. But Walt goes around and comes back in the store and kicks the main bully, so to speak, in the leg and holds him down, and then gets in his face when he gets back up, and the bully or the jock walks away with his tail tucked in between his legs. So Walt's already started to break bad. It's a good episode, a little slower, but it's good. I think it's a solid 8.7. It may be higher, but that's what I gave it. And obviously Walt is the character of the episode, and Walt's probably the character of most of the episodes. Walt, Jesse, and a few other characters. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, make sure you smash that like button. If anybody that you know would be interested in this, share the video with them. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section, and you can talk about anything Breaking Bad related, whatever you want to. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and J-Dev will return.